4. A heavy thunder shattered the deep sleep in my head so that I came to myself like someone woken by force, and standing up, I opened my eyes, now refreshed, and looked around steadily to find out what place I was in. I found myself, in truth, on the brink of the valleys of the sad abyss that gathers to thunder and infinite howling. It was so dark and deep and clouded that I could see nothing but by staring into its depths. The poet, white of face, began. Now, let us descend into the blind world below. I will go first, and you go second. And I, who saw his altered color, said, how can I go on if you are afraid, who are my comfort when I hesitate? And he to me, the anguish of my people here below brings to look of pity to my face, which you mistake for fear. Let us go, for the length of our journey demands it. So he entered, and so he made me enter into the first circle that surrounds the abyss. Here there was no sound to be heard except the sighing that made the eternal air tremble, and it came from the sorrow of the vast and varied crowds of children, of women, and of men, free of torment. The good master said to me, you do not demand to know who these spirits are that you see. I want you to learn, before you go further, that they had no sin, yet, though they have worth, it is not sufficient, because they were not baptized. And baptism is the gateway to the faith that you believe in. So they lived before Christianity, did not worship God correctly, and I myself am one of them. For this defect, and for no other fault, we are lost. And we are tormented only in that without hope we live in desire. When I heard this, great sadness gripped my heart, because I knew of people of great value who must be suspended in that limbo. Wishing to be certain of the faith that overcomes every error, I began. Tell me, Master, tell me, sir, did anyone ever go from here through his own merit or because of others' merit, who afterwards was bliss? And he, understanding my veiled question, replied, I was new to this state when I saw a great one come here crowned with the sign of victory. He took from us the shade of Adam, our first parent, of his son Abel, and that of Noah, of Moses, the lawgiver, and of Abraham, the obedient patriarch, King David, Jacob with his father Isaac, and his children, and Rachel, from whom he labored so long, and many others, and made them blessed. And I wish you to know that those human souls were saved before these. We did not cease moving, though he was speaking, but passed the wood, meanwhile, the wood, I say, of crowded spirits. We had not gone far from where I slept when I saw a flame that overcame a hemisphere of shadows. We were still some way from it, but not so far that I failed to discern in every part what noble people have occupied that place. Oh, you who value every science and art, who are these who have such honor that they stand apart from all the rest? And he to me, their fame, which resounds for them in that life of yours, also brings them heaven's grace, which advances them. Meanwhile, I heard a voice. Honor the great poet. His departed shade returns. After the voice had paused and was quiet, I saw 4 great shadows come toward us, with faces that were neither sad nor happy. The good master began to speak. Take note of him with a sword in hand, who comes in front of the other three, as if he were their lord. That is Homer, the sovereign poet, next Horace, the satirist, Ovid is the third, and last is Lucan. Because each is worthy with me of that name, the good one voice sounded. They do me honor, and in so doing, do good. So I saw gathered together the noble school, the lord of highest song, who soars like an eagle above the rest. After they had talked for a while amongst themselves, they turned toward me with a sign of greeting, at which my master smiled, and they honored me further still, since they made one of their company, so that I made sixth among the wise. So we went onwards to the light, speaking of things about which it was best to be silent, just as it is to speak of them where I was. We came to the base of a noble castle, surrounded 7 times by a high wall, and defended by a beautiful encircling stream. This we crossed as if it were solid earth. I entered through 7 gates with the wise. We reached a meadow of fresh turf. The people there were of great authority in appearance, with calm and serious demeanors, speaking seldom and then with soft voices. We moved to one side and in an open space bright and high, so that every one of them could be seen. There, on the green enamel, the great spirits pointed out to me this directly, so that I feel exalted inside at having seen them. I saw Electra with many others, among whom I recognized Hector, Aeneas, and Caesar, armed with his eagle eye. I saw Camilla and Penthesilea on the other side, and Latinus, the king of Latinum, with his daughter Lavinia. I saw that Brutus, who expelled Tarquin, Lucretia, Julia, Marcia, and Cornelia. And I saw Saladin apart by myself. When I lifted my eyes a little higher, I saw the master of those whom know Aristotle, sitting among the company of philosophers. All gaze at him, all show him honor. There I saw Socrates and Plato, who stand nearest to him of all of them. Democritus, who ascribes the world to chance. Diogenes, Anaxagoras, and Thales. Empedocles, Heraclitus, and Zeno. And I saw the good collector of the qualities of plants. I mean, Dioscorides. I saw Orpheus, Cicero, Linus, and Seneca the moralist, Euclid the geometer, Ptolemy, Hippocrates, Avicenna, and Galen, and Averroes, who wrote the vast commentary. I cannot speak of them all in full, because the great theme that drives me on, so that the word often falls short of the fact. The 6 companions, reduced to 2, the wise guide leads me by another path, out of the quiet, into the trembling air. And I come to a region where nothing shines.